how did you feel about PJ's performance? I know you guys kind of moved guys around a little bit in the secondary, but he looked like he had a good showing.
Yeah, no, he came out there. I thought he did pretty well in pass coverage. The first play of the game, they came out trying to attack him. I think they picked up 7 or 8 yards. They came back with the same play, probably 10 to 15 plays later. Broke it up, you know what I mean? So just seeing that improvement there. They came out challenging him with an out and up downfield, had perfect, good technique down there. So when you saw him in coverage, I thought he played really well. Some things still, tackling angles we want to clean up, and we've been on him about today. Getting off the practice field just a little bit tighter and taking some more shots in that. But I thought he went out there. I thought he executed the game plan well. I thought he flew around. I thought he played a good game on Saturday. I thought he did a good job.
The choice to play PJ more this week, is that matchup based? Did you want to get a little bit more speed on the field, or was it just him having a better week in practice?
Yeah, it's just like everything, you know. Like we said at the beginning of the year, like we have guys. You're not going to see the same guys starting every single week. Like at the end of the day, you have to come out there. You have to compete on the field, off the field. Like it's a competitive battle to be out there. So I mean, I don't know who the two are going to be this week. You know what I mean? Like those guys are rotating right now, and we'll see who comes out doing the best. Throughout these 3-4 practices this week. But I thought he did have a good practice last week. I thought he broke up a lot of footballs. He got his hands on a lot of footballs last week during practice. And, you know, there are certain things, like as we do matchups and stuff like that, things that may favor PJ and Vaughn out there together, or may favor Donovan and Javon out there, or whatever it may be, or PJ and Donovan. You know, so a lot of things will be matchup based, and how they practice as well, because you got to come out and practice, put your head down and practice every single day and every single week.
Cory, I was saying that PJ has a lot of energy, brings a lot of, maybe it was Jerry was about to ask, personality. How would you describe what it's like to be around him?
You guys are at practice every day, right? So yeah, PJ's a big personality. He's got a lot of energy, and even as you saw it against Virginia Tech the week before, I think he played 41 snaps against Virginia Tech. He came off the bench, and you know, when he went out there against those guys, like you could feel he got the defense going a little bit. So he does have a big personality, and you know, just like everything, you know, last year he had some of those penalties from being emotional. But I don't think he's being emotional right now. I think he shows his passion. I think he flies around, and I think he's keeping everything under control while he's out there moving on to the next play and not getting caught up in nonsense. But he has big personality. The kid loves football. He loves, you know, everything about the game, you know, putting in the work film-wise, extra work off the field, whatever it may be. So you got to love that about him.
What do you like? What's he like in your meetings?
He's good. He's good. He's attentive. You know, as we go in there, game plan-wise, you know, we'll send out stuff the night before. Of what we do Monday night. I'll send it out to those guys, and you know, he's in here early this morning and at breakfast sitting there just double checking, going through the game plan. So in meetings he's good, you know, good questions, all that stuff. So yeah, no complaints in there.
Pat said that PJ might have gotten a little bit down on himself after that Cincinnati game. What did it take to get him back up and confident in himself?
Yeah, I think, you know, as you look at that, you know, he was the starter going into the game. Then as we closed the game out, he didn't finish the game. So I think for him, you know, he just knew he had to keep working to stay out there. Then I think was West Virginia the next game. I don't think he played. And there was a little bit of an injury there as well. But, you know, he just keeps showing up and working. And I've never seen PJ down, to tell you the truth. So, I think for him, you know, for the most part, I say 95% of the time, that kid's on a high, just coming in here with a smile on his face and trying to work hard.
It seems like Donovan is, you know, the much better run stopper between the two of them, and that PJ seems more adept at defending the pass. Javon has his skill set. What kind of an asset is it to have a diverse secondary room that has different strengths while you're trying to also work on improving the parts of the game that need to improve?
Yeah, it's good, and the best part about it is too, when you got guys, it doesn't allow anybody to be complacent, right? Like when you just got two guys playing the whole time, like, you know, some guys, they can lower the level if they know nobody's coming in after them. So it forces you to keep your game and everything high every single day practicing. But, you know, it's good. Like you say, PJ, he does well in the coverage. And Donovan, as you see when we get into some of those heavier sets, 12 personnel, he was coming in last game against those guys. And again, his wrestling background shows all the time. He takes great angles. He's a good tackler. Javon's very versatile. He can go the field and boundary, and you know, his mental allows him to be able to do both and be able to handle game plans for both sides of the field. But it's good how all those guys complement each other.
from game 1 to game 6, how much improvement have you seen from Javon? I mean, is it a night and day thing? Has it been steady progress 1 through 6?
He's steady. He's steady. There's still some things we need to work on. I mean, he's been steady. I think his tackling, his angles have been well. He's in the right spot. He's in the right places. Now we need to make some more plays. You know, there's a few flash plays he made last year. You know, there's one last game we wish you could go back on there where he was a free player and shot to the middle of the field and he's 2 yards late. You know what I mean? We got to get that interception. Or the last, what was it? The post that we had against Virginia Tech that went through his hands. So, you know, he's in the right spots, okay? He's making good plays. We want great plays, all right? We got to make those great plays, and we're just a yard short right now. So, you know, he's doing everything he can to get better at that too.
You obviously you're with the safeties, but you're also the defensive coach who comes out this week. So I wanted to ask you about another part of the defense, the linebackers in front, particularly freshmen. That's not a spot where freshmen have played a lot over the years in this defense. But Braylon Lovelace is playing a lot. Jordan Bass is starting to get some reps in there. I mean, what have you seen, you know, as you see those guys kind of working more and more into the defense?
Yeah, I think, you know, and it's linebacker anywhere on defense or offense, like, I think when you get into a scheme, no matter when you come from a freshman and you're a freshman coming into a new system, like all these guys have been here longer than you. So it already is going to put you behind the 8 ball, and it's going to put you behind those guys. So that's why it's harder for those guys to get out there. But all it takes is when they get their opportunity to make the most of it. And we got good players, you know, good young freshmen. I mean, Braylon, he was here early, which he was in the 2 deep from the beginning of the year. Then as we got the injury with Kyle Lewis and Bengali was hurt, he stepped up, you know, and made the most of his opportunity. Jordan Bass, I think he got 4 snaps last game and about 15 on special teams. And as his reps continue to increase, you'll see some good plays made out of him. It's not a lack of talent or ability by any means. It's a lack of reps. So as those guys get those rep counts and increase those, you'll see their play and overall play increase as well.
What kind of challenge does this offense that Wake Forest run pose to your unit?
You know, it's good. RPOs, you know, RPOs. So it forces one-on-ones. You know, I call it fast break basketball. It's just one-on-ones on the perimeter and that. So we got to have good eye discipline. Our eyes down, chin down, all that. Have good eye discipline, not seeing too much in the backfield and everything. And we got to make plays in space. We got to tackle in space, and we got to tackle well. And that's something we got to continuously improve on because we struggled with it 2 weeks ago. We got better last week, but we got to continuously improve on our tackling in space and just finishing strong on the ball. Last week, I think we probably had the most PBUs in a game last week, but we also had the ball thrown 62 times. So that will come with it. But we got to make sure we get our hands on the football as well. But it's going to force us in one-on-one situations, and that's what those are the challenges we accept in this secondary and the challenges we want to be able to be out there on our own to make those plays.
You haven't had too many RPO teams this year, have you?
No, not true RPO teams. You see RPO teams, but not guys that truly line up and practice it and are good at it, and you'll see multiple different RPO routes. So there's just more for us to practice this week for these guys.
Is this the most
route-wise.
RPO team you played, the heaviest RPO team you played?
This year, yes, absolutely. This year by far.
In the past, when you guys have played RPO teams, you guys have coached your players to still play fast and not get caught up trying to do extra things. How do you feel like the progress you've made with a lot of the newer guys that are in this defense to play that style of football against a team like this?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, option football. You got to do your job and you got to do your piece, and that's in it doesn't matter if you line up against two-back pro power stuff that we saw last week. There's a certain piece of the puzzle that you fit into in every single play, and you just got to do your piece. So it's not going to change, be an RPO or not, and you still got to play fast and understand where you fit in the scheme.
Anything final for Coach?